What's good, YouTube? Mase X back with another video, and today we got another episode with my guys, Big Will and RossMonsta. How y'all doing?
Good, good.
Clowns are normal people. We the freaks.
I thought you was gonna do that.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm looking
Dude, I don't
forward to
even
getting
know what
into
to
another
say.
episode.
I see what
People wanted the triple threat trio back on here. We give them what they want. They looking forward for some, nice discussions, maybe heated debates, depending on what y'all got going on, man. So yeah, let's get it. Let's go.
Right, all right. Let's get
Let's
to
see
it,
y'all,
man.
Let's get this going.
But of course, if you return, and definitely support the channel by liking. It definitely goes a long way. And if you're new, definitely like and subscribe to this video. We got videos like this and other content as well. But we're not going to waste any time. We're going to hop straight to it. All right, and the first thing we're going to talk about today, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Justin Fields, 25 of 32, 245 yards, 78% completion percentage, one touchdown pass, only one interception, QBR 55.8. Beat the Chargers, who were undefeated at the time, 20-10. Steelers are now 3-0. Yesterday in the interview, head coach Mike Tomlin, he was asked about the QB situation, and of course, he kept everything cool and calm as a cucumber. Mike Tomlin said Fields is on track to make another start this Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts. At this time, Steelers do sit atop the AFC North with an undefeated record of 3-0. So, Will, the big question is, are Russell Wilson's days as a starter over?
Yes, I definitely think so. And that's what I want to do real quick. I just want to run through some quick stats for you guys. All right. I want to go to his rookie year first. I'm only going to hit a couple of seasons, but rookie year, as a rookie, he threw for 3,118 yards and 26 touchdowns. All right. 2020 was technically his best season. You could maybe argue maybe 2018, but completion rate of 68.8%, threw for 4,212 touchdowns, and then yards, and then 40 touchdowns, and then had a QBR of 105. All right. And I want you to remember those rookie stats because I'm going to get to 2021. I'm going to get to 2023, and that'll be it. So 2021, last year as a Seahawk, he had a completion rate of 64.8%, threw for 3,113 yards, 25 touchdown, QBR of 103. Now, this was his last season as a starter and for the Broncos. Yards, he threw for 3,070 and then 26 touchdowns. That's pretty close to what he did rookie year, right? So you could maybe argue that was his, I don't want to say worst year, but, since he's been a starter. And when I looked at those stats, to be honest, you just see a decline. When I think back what I saw, towards the end of his Seahawks career, he was definitely on a decline. I think it was pretty obvious. That's why I think when they sent him to the Broncos, I mean, let's just keep it real. If the Seahawks felt like if he was still that guy, they would have kept him. And then you saw the Broncos, after 2 seasons, they shipped him. They gave him up to, they traded him to Pittsburgh. And then now in Pittsburgh, the calf injury, and now it looks like he's lost his starting role. And I'll just finish up with this. One thing I've always noticed with older QBs, all it takes is one injury to get you out of the lineup or get you out of being a starter. I think most famously we remember Drew Bledsoe. Once you get injured, that could be it. And then if you have someone younger behind you that, Justin Fields, these first few seasons, haven't been the best, but there's still that potential, and I just think we've seen what Wilson does. I think that with Fields, there's still that potential there. So long story short, yeah, I think it's over for him. I think it's pretty much over
on that real quick, Will, if you don't mind, man.
Okay.
With Justin Fields, so far in his career, I don't think he's had like the status, and it's a great thing what can happen to someone like Justin Fields when you are surrounded by a good supporting cast. In Pittsburgh, unlike Chicago, they did it all for Caleb, but they didn't do it for Justin. Justin Fields' status in the league wouldn't tell me that he's going to continue to succeed all the way through the season. I think at some point he may struggle. And you saying all this about Russell Wilson, like, hey, we don't know. You got a future Hall of Famer on your roster for the cheap. Please understand that, like, they got him on the rookie minimum. Not the rookie minimum, excuse me, the veteran minimum. Because Denver had to eat all that money. And I'm pretty sure like Mike Tomlin would be curious to see how he would do in a Arthur Smith offense. For people who may have forgotten, last year's Atlanta Falcons head coach Arthur Smith was fired, and he went up to Pittsburgh as new offensive coordinator. And so when you got someone in the building like Russell Wilson, at some point, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers would like to see what they have. I know Justin Fields may probably be the long term, but as long as you got Russell in there, at some point, I do think you'll see him this season as a starter.
Okay, can I say one thing to that?
It's your world, man.
I got a couple of things. So the reason, like, when I was kind of looking into this a little deeper, the reason I brought those stats is because I've noticed this too with like not just quarterbacks, but anybody. It could be NBA, NFL. Usually when your stats drop like that, like to your rookie, when your stats usually mirror, like let's say, like I said, his last year as a Bronco, those stats mirrored his rookie season. You know what I mean? When he's first in the league. I feel like that's kind of a bad sign, to be honest. Like,
well, when he took his team to the divisional round as a rookie, I don't think that's really nothing to, dismiss.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying, yeah. I mean, as a rookie, that's really good. But when you're, I can't think of top of my head how many years in he is. He's not a rookie no more. So think about it. As a rookie, that's great. But when
I should look at Justin Fields as an X factor to the point where he's locked the starting job up, and we're not going to at least see what Russell can do. Like I mentioned to some friends of mine who mentioned it. It's really smart that Mike Tomlin's not out here talking about, Justin Fields is our guy moving forward. You want to keep defensive coordinators on their heels because it's a really good luxury as an NFL team to have defensive coordinators study two quarterbacks because you don't know what'll happen. Basically, what I'll do to close this out is once Russell Wilson is 100% healthy, keep an eye out, man, because I don't think Justin Fields is going to light the world up on fire to where he's going to lock that starting job up. I think they're going to, at the very least, want to see what they have in a Russell Wilson. Regardless of his numbers and his stats, those are two completely different systems. And with Arthur Smith, I do think there could be something with Russell Wilson. Keep in mind, he didn't have a bad statistical year last season with the Broncos. It was more so, he just didn't have a great relationship with Sean Payton. I think this might be his final year, his final season to be starting, but I do think we'll see Russell Wilson starting this season at some point as a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Right. So Russell Wilson, he's done. Justin Fields, 3-0 hot start. They're not looking back. And then Trey, you're more on the side that this isn't necessarily the end of Russell Wilson. You could see him becoming a starter at some point. Is that accurate?
Looking good, man. Looking pretty accurate.
Yeah,
I think so. We'll see though. It's only week 3. Got plenty of weeks to go. Justin Fields, right now, it might change. I don't think he's like, that superstar up and coming quarterbacks where it's like, oh yeah, Fields is our guy. It may seem that way right now. They're winning. They're 3-0. They're going to Indy. I have them winning that game. We don't know. There's no rush for Russell Wilson, but at some point, At some point, we're gonna see a slip up in Justin Fields. I can just feel it.
But like you said, as long as they win, that's all that matters. And I think like if they're winning, there's no point of putting Russell Wilson back in. And I think even if they lose and Justin Fields has a good statistical game, there's really no point in putting him back in. I mean, I just think that with this injury, and like I said, there's been a decline. There's been a big decline. I mean, I'll say this. I wouldn't be shocked if they gave him a chance, but I think Justin Fields would have to really, really play bad. You know what I'm saying? Like really bad. And I think as long as they win, if he throws 100 yards, 1 interception, but they get the win, I think he's going to stay the starter.
Final point, and that's true. If they keep winning, there's no need to make a quarterback change. But keep in mind,
I was going to ask you that too, Trey. Like if Russell Wilson's ready, body's right, and they're after 7 games, they're 5-2. Do you think Mike Tomlin's really going to take Justin Fields out and name him a starter?
You gotta go. He's younger, man. I mean, there's just no point. Like that
doesn't matter. Like if they're 5-2, why are they 5-2? Is it because of Justin Fields or in spite of Justin Fields? Like, keep in mind, the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion, regardless of records and how things have started out, are in probably the most competitive division in the league. So if the losses start to pile up and Justin Fields starts to struggle, you're putting Russell Wilson out there.
Yeah. But you said 5-2. Who is it? Who is it? Is it defense? Whatever. Doesn't matter, bro. You're 5-2, man. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Good record. 5-2 is a real good record.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Now, as far as the AFC North, Steelers are 3-0. The next best team are the Ravens and the Browns tied at 1-2, and the Bengals.
That's what I was saying, bro. You said it's competitive. That's why I was like, bro.
They've already got
3 weeks in.
You said that's competitive.
We are 3 weeks in,
bro. But the Browns, bro. Deshaun Watson.
I'm just saying.
Done. Like the Browns, I don't see them. I don't
Hey,
see
you can
it.
say that, and I don't disagree. I think at this point, it is what it is with Deshaun Watson, even though we're not talking about Deshaun Watson, how bad he is. But don't forget about that Cleveland defense. They got some dogs, no pun intended, in the dog pound. That defense, man, it's going to be
Yeah,
some
defense
low-scoring wins if they
definitely.
got to rely on them to win the
Yeah,
game.
but that's just like the Jets last year, though. Like that's going to
Yeah,
take you
No,
so
not even
far.
close. Because you
I
got a
I
competent,
think
hold
that
on, you got
might
a
be a
competent
similar
veteran quarterback
situation.
and Jameis Winston in the wings. I do think Jameis Winston can move the ball a little bit better than Zach Wilson can
Yeah,
move the
but
ball.
he is who he is at this point, bro.
He
Like,
who?
I mean, yeah, I
Yeah, he's
don't
more competent than the Zach Wilson because Rodgers goes down, that
Yeah,
defense is good, and you rely on Zach Wilson? No.
no, I feel you on that. I feel you,
Yeah, I
but
trust
what?
Winston with the Browns more than I would trust Wilson with the Jets.
all right, Will, man. I think that was a good discussion between both of y'all. I mean, I see the argument on both sides, but definitely going to keep this train moving. Next up, we're talking about Sam Darnold. Obviously, Sam Darnold has had one hell of a ride in his NFL journey since 2018, starting with the Jets, and then he became a journeyman. This year, though, with the Vikings, man, with the injury to J.J. McCarthy, who was expected to be the guy at some point his rookie year, Sam Darnold stepped in. 3-0 record at this time. They're actually the third leading scoring offense in the NFL, catching everybody by surprise. Is this a fluke, or is this something that we should know that they're real? Are they contenders or pretenders?
It's not a fluke at all, man. I'll tell you right here, right now. When we talk about the 2018 class of quarterbacks, a lot of people would compare it to the 1984 draft class. I believe that was a year where all the legends came out with the Dan Marinos of the world and all the other quarterbacks that I can't remember at the time. But yeah, you got Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, because Josh Allen, you have to win an MVP. And then you go down to like Baker Mayfield, who revived his career because all he needed was a good situation. Sean McVay revived Baker Mayfield's career the same way Kyle Shanahan revived Sam Darnold's career. And hear me out. When Sam Darnold was drafted, he was the consensus number one of the 5 quarterbacks, right? And when he went to the New York Jets, he was in a bad situation with Adam Gase. And then he goes on to Carolina Panthers as the next starter there. And we all know what the Carolina Panthers organization's been like since David Tepper had bought the team. Just a terrible situation. If you're a quarterback there, you won't succeed. Ask Baker Mayfield. All right. So he needed to go to San Francisco. And even though he didn't play at San Francisco, being a 49er under the Kyle Shanahan system was the best thing that could have ever happened to his career. And here's why. He actually knew how to play quarterback at the NFL level. There is no better person to play for in terms of being a better quarterback and learning the craft and learning how to move your lower body than, listen, anybody who coaches from the Mike Shanahan tree, they're pretty good because we're going to get into a little bit more in terms of the Shanahan tree here in a moment. But with Sam Darnold, it's not a fluke at all. He then goes on to play for Kevin O'Connell. And I'll tell you what right now, the way he's playing, J.J. McCarthy, healthy or not, he's just basically going to, sit back, relax, learn. And I have an argument right here. I don't know the numbers. Shame on me for not pulling it up. I would assume it was a 1-year deal. Was it a multi-year deal? Somebody can figure that out for me. I'd be forever grateful. But let's just say it was a 1-year deal. Should we consider bringing Sam Darnold back for multiple years? And maybe in Minneapolis, we might have another Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love situation where we don't need to rush McCarthy out there right now. If Sam Darnold's playing the way he's playing, we might mess around and just have him, revive his career. And then who knows? If you bring him back for a couple more years, there might be a quarterback hungry team out there. You could trade him. I'm not saying he's going to go on to lead this team anywhere deep into the playoffs, but I feel like this is the best situation that Sam Darnold's been in since he's been in the NFL.
That's interesting. For me, I definitely some good points there. And Sam Darnold, yeah, he's surprised me, man, especially with them being third in the NFL in scoring. I mean, it's only been 3 weeks, but I think that we all, for the most part, wasn't expecting them to be anywhere near the top 10, even through 3 weeks. But I think they're going to come down to earth. We saw that back in, 2021 with the Panthers. They started 3-0. It kind of catches up to you. The good old talent prevails. At some point, he's going to play similar to what he's played to this point, who he is. And I think that the Vikings overall as a team, obviously they're not going to win every game, but I don't think they're going to win too many more games after week 3, to be honest.
Oh, hold on. Well, first of all, I want to ask. So Sam Darnold he was signed to a 1-year deal worth $10 million. I just pulled it up. Mason, so you mean so if you're the front office in the Minnesota Vikings, you're gonna let him walk after this year and then go ahead and turn to JJ?
It depends on how the season plays out. I do think that if they only win 2 more games the rest of the season, 3
What?
more
Hold on.
games.
So you mean to tell me after a 3-0 start, you got them winning only 2 more games?
I think that's pretty realistic.
Nah, that's not realistic.
5 wins.
So you mean 3-0
5 or
start and
6
they go
wins.
into the season 2 and what? 13 or something like that, 2-12. They changing the number of the schedule. So you got them winning 2 more games for the remainder of the season.
Potentially. I don't see them winning. I don't see them winning even 3-0. I don't see them winning. Like if you did a plus minus 6.5, I'm going under.
So what's that? 2-12?
So you're saying like the next 2 wins are going to be like kind of scattered? Like
next 3, I could see them winning 3 more games for the rest
whole year.
Out of the next 14 games.
Absolutely not.
I think it's going to be like pretty scattered out.
This is a fluke.
Absolutely not. That's the most absurd thing. No, man, because listen, Kevin O'Connell, he would make Kirk Cousins look like a superstar X factor from time to time last year. Kirk Cousins is having the best season of his career before he blew out his Achilles. And I know Sam Darnold, he's no Patrick Mahomes, he's no Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, but he's competent enough to run a clean offense under the Kevin O'Connell's system. And then not only that, they're not asking him to put the team on his back and then take him to a 13-4 season. And you got Brian Flores running that defense better than it's been ran in the past 15 years. You got a superstar in Justin Jefferson. And you mean to tell me you ain't got them winning 2 more games for the rest of the season? That is absurd. And 2 more games, bro. You do realize they haven't played the Chicago Bears yet. So you mean they're gonna sweep them for sure. I think they might get one against the Packers. Come on, man. Did you even look at their schedule before you said that?
Go ahead, Will.
No. Well, hold on, Mason.
Give your take, Will. I'm gonna go last. I'm gonna let Will get his.
This will be quick. I just want to read the stats real quick. I just want to read.
Mason, how you gonna say something so absurd and you ain't gonna defend your case?
I'm gonna defend it.
I just thought it was interesting since we got a three game sample size so far. I just wanted to give like these stats because I thought this was interesting. So remember the first 3 games last year in 21, they went 3-0 with the Panthers. So he threw 888 yards, and then he also threw 3 touchdowns. That was in 21 when they went 3-0. Mm-hmm. And then so far this year, he's thrown 8 touchdowns, and he's thrown for 657 yards. So this start actually is a little better than the start he had in 21, especially touchdown-wise. I mean, isn't he leading the league right now? So I'm just saying that maybe it could be the real deal. Like it could be, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he just needed a different situation because I always feel like any quarterback going to the Browns or the Jets, that's rough. That's a rough place to start off with. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe you really may have a redemption.
But excuse to start off with.
You said what?
That's a good excuse to start off with.
I mean, but look. I mean, the Browns definitely have that. They definitely have a history of that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? The Jets really. I mean, look at Geno Smith, man. I mean. You know what I'm saying? So
and the other 8-9 teams that he was on for those 8-9 years.
But maybe you just need that spot.
Organization too, huh?
Maybe you just need that spot because I mean he's in like, and obviously Carolina's probably not the best organization as well. But I'm gonna let you.
Yeah, I mean I see what y'all saying, and I'm not saying that it can't happen. To answer your question, Trey, I'm just saying probability wise, based on his history, it's not going to keep up.
But Mace, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Based on Darnold's history, he's not going to sustain this.
Offensive coordinators and bad head coaches. Yeah. You're not going to succeed in the NFL when you play for a coach like Adam Gase.
Let me ask you a question real quick. You said
ridiculous.
You said 3 wins, right? So they're going to be like scattered out. You're saying like he's probably going to get like maybe like lose maybe.
He
3
said 2 wins, Will. So he's got them going 5.
I said 6.5. I'm going under. So 6.
So 6 wins. So you think it's going to maybe be like they go on a losing skid, maybe like a 3-game losing skid or something. Then he gets another win, like something like that.
Yep.
I think O'Connell is way too good of a head coach.
I know O'Connell. Yeah, he's definitely a hell of a.
Brian Flores, he's a hell of a mind. Defense reason to be top 10.
So you talk about they're not going to ask Darnold to carry the team.
They don't need him to.
What talent on offense is he loaded with? I mean, you got Justin Jefferson, but I mean, who else are we talking about? I think Darnold, they're going to need him to throw 300 yards to play it, Well,
we'll see what happens when Jordan Addison comes back from injury. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the biggest Viking buck out here, so I can't tell you their entire offensive line, their entire receiving core, their running back and all that stuff. All I know is that Kevin O'Connell has proven himself to be a good head coach, and he works with what he has. It's a really good thing that they didn't bring Kirk Cousins back. It could be low-scoring wins if they needed to. You know, they got room for Sam Darnold to struggle because that defense can flip the field and then give them good field position to get those touchdowns. But I wanted to go over their schedule real quick in rapid-fire motion so we don't waste a lot of time here. They got the Packers at Lambeau, and that's going to come down to if Jordan Love, if he's out there versus this Vikings defense. And then they head off.
You're really high on the defense.
Yeah, and then you
got your defense is going to sustain this momentum as well.
Yeah.
So I got them winning that game. I got them beating the LA Rams, so you still have finishing fourth that you claimed overachieved last year. I got them sweeping the Bears, and depending on what Indy wants to do, get their act together, they probably might snatch that one too. Jacksonville Jaguars, they've proven that they're not the team that they thought they'd be in a preseason. That's another win. Arizona Cardinals, I might give them that one too because that's going to be a game at home with that defense. Hold on for a second.
Real high.
And
real high on the.
I think they might mess around and snatch a win from the Detroit Lions.
Well, you don't even have to go over the rest of the schedule. Bro, you want to know why you don't have to go over the rest of the schedule?
It don't matter if I need to or not.
This is the NFL. There's no
Arizona. I think it's losing against Arizona.
Man, get out of here.
They can lose to the Bears.
I can't argue with crazy people.
And then even with the Packers, like, come on, man, you can't write the Packers off, bro.
Who wrote the Packers off?
Who did the 49ers lose to?
They lost.
Bro, I'm not getting caught up in that fuzzy math, bro. But nobody wrote off the Packers
lose to that we didn't think that they would lose to. That the reason why I asked that is you can't chalk W's in the NFL. Oh, they're going to beat the Colts. They're going to beat the Bears. You don't know what Caleb Williams is going to look like in a month.
You said we can't talk W's in the NFL, but guess who just got paid $85 for a nice little free leg parlay? I had the Broncos beating the Buccaneers. I had the Panthers beating the Raiders, and I had the Washington Commanders beating the Cincinnati Bengals. So sometimes you can't chalk W's in the NFL. Sometimes you can. You got to be smart about it. I'm high on Sam Darnold.
You got them beating a lot of teams.
And the part that the
you said they got a lot of W's coming.
That's what I said, bro. It's like 5 games.
That was like 5 or 6 games you went over. You had them win.
You heard it here first. Regardless of the outcome of the Viking season, they bring back Sam Darnold and they make JJ McCarthy wait a little bit longer. I think it's going to be the Jordan Love effect.
We'll definitely get back to that because I definitely disagree. And we'll see. You know, I definitely think that, like I said, they're going to cool off, come back down to earth with the Vikings. I project them no more than 7 wins, but definitely I think 5 to 6.
No more than 7. Well, you just said he's only 2 more wins, so now you
I said 6.
The goalpost.
No, I said you keep saying 5. I don't know why.
Yeah, run the tape, man. You said
I started off saying
2 more games, which would put them at 5.
We'll come back to that at another time, man. We'll definitely come back to that. But moving on to the next series, man, we got in or out. We introduced that last episode. More like a stock up, stock down. Doesn't have to just be players. It can be anything in the NFL, offenses, defenses, coaching staff. Malik Willis, man, stepping in for Jordan Love. Started off with the Colts. Pretty solid game. Really good scripting for him. But last game, man, definitely woke up some eyes, man. 13-19, 202 yards, a career high, 68% throwing. 1 touchdown. Very efficient game with a QBR of 93. Also showing why he had some hype a little bit coming out of Liberty. Was able to use his legs over 70 yards on the ground with an additional rush. So, Trey, are you in and out on Malik Willis?
I'm definitely in, man. I'm definitely in terms of him not being like an absolute bust in the NFL. Here's the thing. It all comes down to location and situation, especially at the quarterback position. And I've been talking about the Shanahan tree. Matt LaFleur is a part of that Shanahan tree. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Jordan Love struggled early last season, and then once they kind of clicked and developed that chemistry, he became one of the top half quarterbacks in the league. Yeah, I'm in on Malik Willis. I think Malik Willis is doing everything he needs to do. It's a good spot for him, good situation. I don't think he's going to be a starter in this league, but I do think if something like this happens where their starter and Jordan Love goes down, you can put him out there and he can do just enough for you to help win games. He can do just enough to help you win games. Oh, my goodness. That was such a homecoming. Proud of Malik Willis. In on Malik Willis.
In on Malik Willis. All right. Moving on. So Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk's definitely been in the news. He's had to answer questions to reporters since the start of the season or start of the season. Pretty underwhelming performances through the 3 games, back-to-back losses. He only has 11 catches for 119 yards. Still has not scored a touchdown, of course, in the season opener, infamously shown where he dropped a touchdown pass. So off to a slow start. Will, I'm gonna open this up to you. Are you in and out on Brandon Ayuk for this season?
I'm in on him. I can't say he's going to be down the whole season or have a down season. I think, anytime you miss training camps, you miss that, again, practice, working on routes with that timing with your quarterback. I think that's just going to force you to have a slow start. So I think he'll probably get it together. I think Brock Purdy has shown he's a good quarterback. So I think with that, the chemistry they already have, I think it's just a slow start for right now, but I think he'll be fine.
All right, next we got Anthony Richardson in the Indianapolis Colts offense. With his slow start, Anthony Richardson, his numbers right now is the talk of the town. He has the lowest completion percentage, second lowest passer rating in the NFL after 3 games. He also leads the league with 6 interceptions. So obviously this isn't how he envisioned as the start of his campaign after it was cut short last year, his rookie year. Should Colts fans be worried about Anthony Richardson, or do you think that he'll bounce back?
Both. I think it's both. Because I do believe this Indianapolis Colts roster is good enough to make the playoffs. And I have my doubts on the AFC South as a whole. So it's like, are you guys willing to waste a year with this talent for Anthony Richardson's development? I don't think so. What I believe should happen is I think it's just like, listen, that kid is an absolute freak athlete, but he is just so raw. I don't think he's ready to put that team on his back and lead them anywhere far right now. I say you go with the veteran and Joe Flacco. You saw what he did last year in Cleveland. I think he can do the same thing in Indianapolis because he's got better talent around him, in my opinion. And that's not an indictment on Anthony Richardson. That won't be the end of Anthony Richardson. It's not a Bryce Young situation. You can slowly bring him along, or I'm not the Indianapolis Colts. Maybe they feel like just keeping him out there, letting him learn as they go is the way to go. But like you mentioned, 6 interceptions in 3 games, that's not necessarily something that the Colts fans are really thrilled about. My father-in-law was really adamant that they need to go ahead and move on. But I tell these guys all the time, listen, Anthony Richardson's no Peyton Manning. He's no Andrew Luck. He's a different type of first-round quarterback. The Colts are going to have to do something they haven't done in a long time. That's just be patient with this guy. But my personal opinion, I think he'll be on the bench, whether it's for performance or injury. And then Joe Flacco is going to give like a nice little spark.
Good take there. What do you think about the Miami Dolphins offense? If Tua's out for this season, is there any hope?
No, I'm out. I'm completely out because, like you said, with Skylar Thompson, he hasn't shown much. I know you were saying they will bring in Huntley, but this is the thing though, especially in the NFL, it's about systems. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think that even if you bring someone in that has that potential, that's a system he's got to get used to. And as you know in the NFL, man, every loss, every win counts, every loss counts. So it's going to take time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm out on him, man. I think I'm pretty high on Tua, to be honest. I think that's a really good team. I think he's a good quarterback, and I think he's the one to lead him. But I'm out on him, man. Unless he comes back, I'm out.
I'm kind of with you. I'm half in, half out on the offense, man. I do feel like Skylar Thompson, and I know it was a while ago, but that wild card. Oh, man, he showed so much heart against the Buffalo Bills. He's earned my respect as an NFL quarterback. Starter, absolutely not. I do think they'll turn it around with or without Tua.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, man, like I said, system, man. And then, like, you think about that chemistry. I don't see it, man. I think that offense, bro, is really built around Tua, bro. I think Tua is, like, he leads that offense. And I just can't see Thompson stepping in there and really doing much. I think they'll probably get a win because they got weapons, but I think they could honestly miss the playoffs without Tua.
When you have those concussions, you're at a higher risk of reconcussing. That's why a relatively non-overly physical tackle.
Yeah, that
wasn't even a tackle. That was enough to knock him out.
Exactly, yeah.
First 2 concussions weren't on him. He was thrown to the ground. That third one, yeah, man, I don't want my quarterback who's had previous concussions colliding with a safety, man. You better slide and protect yourself, man.
Yeah,
That's just me. But
diving forward.
I'm rooting for Tua, man. Love the
Same
kid, love the
here.
story, love the journey. But his life, his career, but I hope he's doing what's best for him and his family.
Yeah, we'll definitely go ahead and see. But yeah, man, I think that's all we got today, man. Appreciate you guys coming, joining this episode. Big Will, RossMonsta. Definitely, if you're new to this channel, and if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. Support the channel. We're on the road to 1K still. Appreciate the support. You guys got any closing points that you want to say before we get out of here?
Diapers are not cheap. They're expensive. Dog food is expensive. Please like, subscribe, and share so we can get some money from this. This is what I got. This is my life. I need this. Please. Seriously. I'm broke.
Hey, look at his haircut, guys. He's
Don't
not
laughing at me. I'm serious. I can't get a haircut. I can't even afford to put my hood up.
And on
Please,
that
guys.
note,
I need
we
this.
out of here.
Help.